everybody, welcome back to Better Call Kino. That's right, the Better Call Saul review podcast that has not missed a single week. We're here every single Monday night to recap the episode we all just watched. I am, of course, Simian Jimmy, joined as always by Heartsy Protsy.
Gotta go fast. I'm Heartsy Protsy.
Yep.
How's everyone doing?
Do a proper impression, Florian.
Yeah.
I will not go and be cancelled.
Okay, E-Rich, do your Heartsy impression.
Hi there, folks. So we're here once again.
Okay, here's how I'll make it less offensive. E-Rich, do your Walt Jr. impression.
How is that less offensive?
It's distinct.
Breakfast?
But Dad,
Hey, Dad.
cooking
Dad.
meth is bad. Shut up, Walt. Anyway, Flynn is his
Walt
name.
Jr.
Yeah. Guys, we have a lot of episodes to cover. I don't even know why we're wasting time. Everybody has surely
as
clicked
we
off.
all know, every episode of Better Call Saul is chock full with tons of interesting stuff to talk about every single time.
Well,
just plot spilling out every episode.
Yeah. It's true. We have 3 episodes to discuss, so this might be a 20-minute podcast. So this might, we might be breaking the mold here. But
5 minutes per episode.
I don't know why we're being sarcastic, because this is one of my favorite shows, and I am really loving the season so far. I have a few issues with it, and we'll dive into it. Let's start off with episode 3. Some would call it Rock in a Hard Place. Some would call it the Nacho episode. I would call it El Camino 2. This is,
I'm
of course,
calling it Nacho fucking dies.
Yeah, it's
Whoa.
Nacho. I'm trying to think of a pun, like not your, but where would you go with that sentence? Not your time to live. Nacho time to live. E-Rich, what did you think of Nacho Time to Live?
I thought this was a pretty great episode. I thought it was incredibly tense all throughout. We didn't know Nacho's fate until this episode.
Right.
So getting to see it and getting to see it play out was pretty tense. When he's hiding in that, I don't know what it is, like
oil.
In all that oil. Yeah. He's
disgusting.
hiding in a bunch of oil from the cousins or whatever. Like, I was on the edge of my seat. I was like, holy fucking shit. Like, what's going to happen to him? And then, of course, like the standoff at the end, it's odd because this is a prequel, and we know that every single one of these characters will appear perfectly fine,
except for one.
Except for one. So, like, the stakes are very high for everyone. I'm sorry, nobody except for Nacho. And so Nacho could get away, but it doesn't seem like he will. And then, like, Mike is there. He's got a fucking sniper rifle, and he could pick somebody off, except no, he can't. Because everybody here is going to live, except for Nacho. And then when Nacho, of course, shoots himself, it's like, oh, yeah, fucking sucks. And so, like,
doesn't even make sense, does it?
The relationship,
them all.
The relationship he had with his dad, where he's calling him, and his dad's like, you shouldn't hang out with the gang members, you shouldn't be involved in all like cartel shit. And he's just like, he can't say anything to his dad. He can't endanger his dad. And like, it's heartbreaking because this is a man like at the very end of his rope. This is all he can do. And like at the end, the only like actual action he can take is his own life. It's fucking tragic, man. Holy shit.
You say it's tragic. I think this is some alpha baller shit. I think Nacho, considering the circumstance he was in, like he was so incredibly fucked, he took the alpha Chad way out and he said, okay, I'll make a fucking deal.
Yeah.
I'll make a deal. If you will protect and save my dad, the only thing I actually care about, I want to protect him more than myself. If you just promise me after my death, he will be safe, I'll do whatever you want. I'll shoot myself. I'll die, whatever the fuck. So I think he took his fate into his own hands, and Nacho's a Chad. I think he's an all-time great character.
I think it cemented his status as one of the better characters in this universe.
Yeah, and he's done so much. He's crippled the man, and he's And I mean, he said some other stuff that I forgot about, but he had like a huge impact on the whole Breaking Bad show.
Yeah, this episode
ever knew.
It had some major Ozymandias vibes with Nacho like finally unleashing his inner hatred towards these people, and he's unleashing on the Salamancas, saying, "I fucking hate you. I'm the one who paralyzed you," and he's just going off, kind of like it's the reverse of Walt telling Jesse that he saw Jane die, because in that moment, it makes us feel sick and hate Walt, like, oh, you absolute fucking piece of shit. But this is the inverse. When Nacho does it, it is so based. You want to stand up and clap. And do you guys get that feeling? Was it just powerful watching, what's his name, Michael Mando? Whoever the actor is. He's really bringing it for this scene.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Man, that was sure one of the best episodes. How will he ever follow up this amazing climax, huh?
I can't remember. In this episode, was there anything with Jimmy?
Yeah.
Worth talking about?
This is the one where they are they're planning on getting Howard's car. That's it.
Yeah,
that's all they do.
Yeah. He got the keys. He did all that stuff.
Right.
Yeah, that was, he did the homework. Great.
Yeah, what'd you guys think of, once again, the return of Huel and his master power, where if somebody bumps into him, he can steal anything from them? Are you guys glad that this was brought back again?
A master pickpocket.
Yeah.
It's pretty handy, and it's pretty like useful as a writer to just be like, oh, well, anything we need, Huel can just get from somebody. So, yeah, he's pretty useful in that way.
Yeah, he's just a blob that can absorb anything that he touches. It's perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, a fat person is a pretty perfect pickpocket, just because you're going to bump up against somebody that wide.
There's no escape.
He has a built-in fucking reason to just be like, oh, sorry. You know, I'm a big fat guy.
Well, we'll get back to that, because there is a perhaps an unintentional callback to when Jesse realized Huel stole from him. There's like an inverse of that with Gus coming up in a few episodes, so I'm going to keep that in the back of my head to bring it back. But do we have any other thoughts on this Nacho death episode? Do you think when... I watched it twice, and when he's calling his dad... the first time I thought it was just, to check up on him, like he wanted to hear his voice, but the second time it's very clear Nacho knows this is the final time he's going to speak to him. Right. This is the end. And when you, like the second time with that in mind, just every single moment, every line of dialogue hits so much harder, knowing that even the character knows this is the end.
Yeah. So, Mumkey, if you were on the other end of that phone call, do you think you could, like, detect Nacho's, like, complete freak out? Like, I don't know. It just seemed like he was, like, on the verge of tears, like really breaking down.
You're saying if I'm there. Nacho's dad?
Yeah, if you were Nacho's dad, don't you think you could, like, be like, oh, clearly he's not all right. Clearly, like, something's going on with him.
I think Nacho's dad is he's one of the biggest cucks in the show. And if you're gonna do like those stupid charts where it's like, this is evil law abiding and this is true neutral and all that, like he is the one who is like true good, like he's one of the few uncorrupted characters in Breaking Bad, and that's why he's a complete cuck. He's got his son like literally enslaved between two drug dealers because he refuses to take his money and fucking move. All they would have to do, like Nacho has the fake IDs, he just needs his dad to agree, hey, this is a dangerous city, let's fucking move, I'm rich, and his dad refuses to, and now his son is dead.
It really does like really foreground a lot of that earlier stuff where it's just it is an ultimate tragedy where he had everything to get out of this, and his dad's reluctance to move, like all of that stuff just fucked him completely. Man, that's.
But I guess that makes Nacho a cuck too, because he could have easily just ran. Oh my god.
He didn't want to leave his dad. He wanted to do anything in his power to keep his dad safe, and at the end of the day, Nacho won. He accomplished his goal.
Really? You think he won?
Yes! Wow. I literally think Nacho won. His only goal was to keep his dad safe, and thanks to Mike, he accomplished it. He's one of the few characters who wins in Breaking Bad.
I mean, I think he should have just gone away. I don't think his dad is worth it. Sorry.
Wow. Okay.
Who do you think are the winners in Breaking Bad, Mumkey?
Probably Ed the Disappearer. He made a lot of money off of people.
Yeah.
And really, I think his crime is morally ambiguous. Like, you know what? Even if these people are criminals, they have the right to live in a cabin in the middle of New Hampshire. So,
like, do you think Gene is a winner at the end of the day? I guess we don't really know
yet
what his ultimate fate is.
I'm hoping he will be a winner, though.
Mm-hmm. Do we think Jesse is a winner?
Yes, Jesse survived. He won.
Okay, yeah.
Well, it was blind luck, though. Really. Like,
hey, he was a slave, and now he's a free man in Alaska. I mean, I envy him.
I guess. But, Mumpkin, you gotta admit that you've been wrong, because you complained so much about how Gus is just insane for going after Nacho's dad, and guess what? It all came down to Nacho's dad. So, guess who had it right all along? Gus. Who would have guessed that the character that was written to be so calculating would in fact play this perfectly right? Wow.
Yeah, I feel like Gus is overtly cruel towards Nacho, because at the end of the day, both Nacho and Gus have the same enemy. They should be on the same side, but Gus is just a bitch.
Why did Nacho even go along with it? Why didn't he just go with Lalo? Lalo was treating him like a brother.
That is a good point. Like, thinking back, like, Lalo was really nice to Nacho. Like, they were broing it up right before he betrayed him. And considering how dangerous and suave and smooth Mr. Lalo is, I mean, I feel like I would join his side and trust him to kill Gus rather than vice versa.
Yeah, and then he just developed the superpowers to just kill this entire hit squad. Wow. What a fool Nacho is. And Lalo is still out there, just laughing it up. Well, he's gonna come for them.
Are you guys ready to move on to episode 4, Hit and Run?
Oh, yeah.
Let's do it.
Now, something that Everidge said that really tickled me was, he said, since Nacho died in episode 3, I'm expecting the rest of the show to just be, no filler.
Non-stop, yeah, no, all filler, all killer, no filler, yeah. It slowed way the fuck down.
Yeah. Yeah, so
sorry, you should refresh me. What exactly happened in season 4? In episode 4, it's like there's this hole in my memory.
So episode 4 is the epic reveal that Gus has a secret tunnel under his home.
He just goes down the tunnel into another home and just walks by them. Well, this is a 5-minute scene.
Let's go through. Yeah, no, there are some scenes in this episode that are long. I'm going to go through the scenes in order. We start off with the cold open, the teaser they like to call it. Yeah. With we got this mixed race couple riding bikes, talking about the houses in the neighborhood. Turns out, their next door neighbor, is that Gus Fring's house? I wouldn't know, because I don't fucking remember what Gus Fring's house looks like. I listened to the Better Call Saul Insider podcast, and they really expected the audience to know, to remember what Gus's house was, and they thought this teaser would be like a really, shit pants moment, like, oh my god, they're next to Gus!
Yeah, I didn't know what the fuck they were pointing at.
Yeah, but it's like if you don't remember what Gus's house looks like, this is just nonsense of a teaser.
Here's the thing. It's so weird because I really like this show, and I think it's really good, and Breaking Bad and this are like two so well done shows. But some people really treat this shit like it's the Bible, where they've memorized it, they know exactly what everything is. I'm sure that a bunch of people soy-faced and pointed as soon as they saw Gus's house. That's Gus's house! We're gonna see Gus's house! And I'm just like, I don't know. Okay, it's Gus's house. Fine. Okay.
But I do like this because it does fill in some holes from Breaking Bad. Do you remember when Walt was pissed? He was going to go to Gus's house and just kill him at his house. And as he's walking up, Mike calls him on the phone. And I always wondered how did they know so quick?
Figure that out? Yeah.
Now this establishes not only how and why, but Gus has a safe house next to his house, and it's just full of surveillance equipment because he's scared of Lalo.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, convenient. Otherwise, Walt would have just killed Gus then, and would have been all over, huh?
Maybe. I mean, Lalo really is the hero who, inspired all of our favorite characters.
Yep.
So the main focus of this episode is the epic heist with Howard at his therapy session. Jimmy's going to dress up identically to him, which I should mention, this episode was directed by Kim.
By Kim, yeah.
By fucking Kim. And it was a very, very good directorial debut. I thought that they hit the comedy beats with Jimmy dressing up as Howard very well. And even just like when you go into the heist and, obviously little things are going to go wrong to make the tension. And when he comes back with Howard's car and the parking spot has been taken, the sacred cone was ignored. They're so good at blending high dramatic tension with hilarious comedy at the same time. And I don't know if I should feel scared or if I should be laughing.
Both.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Yeah, it's just great.
Like, I just feel bad that he had to do all that exercise of moving that sign while being in a suit. Okay, what a shame.
And then the perfect comedic timing of the sign falling over right when Howard leaves.
Yeah, crazy left. Do you guys think if somebody moved your car, you would notice? I
probably
think
not.
In a bigger parking lot than this, I probably wouldn't have noticed. But in a smaller one like this, I probably would. I probably would be like, wait a minute.
So luckily, Howard was just parked at the very end. So he probably just remembers him parked at the end. And Jimmy just invented a new parking spot further on the end.
He probably doesn't remember because all he knows is that he parked at the parking spot outside the psychiatrist. So he doesn't need to remember which
and that he's parked in front of the sign.
I mean, sure.
Yeah.
And he's probably also more worried about his psychiatry than he is where he parked. But
yeah. I mean, if he just finds the car, he doesn't need to remember which space he had, so...
I don't know. I think if I pulled out and I was in a clear, no parking zone, I would notice that, but that's fine.
Howard was very distracted. He had an emotional day with his therapist. He had a dream, like all great men do.
He just cried it out, bitch, yeah.
Now, this episode actually did break my heart a little bit because it revealed that one of my top theories was actually not true. Of course, the plan here is for Howard to be caught kicking a prostitute out of his car, so they get the famous character of Wendy, who still lives at the same hotel, still drinking the same root beer from when she was with Jesse and shit. Same exact character. Now, my theory, my hope, and a lot of people shared this, was that Wendy was actually future Kim after she got addicted to Heisenberg's meth.
That's insane. That's the stupidest fucking theory I've ever heard. You really wanted this to happen?
No, of course not. But it's a very funny meme. And now that we've had both of them in the same scene, of course, it's been disproven. Maybe Wendy is Kim's mom. We don't know.
Oh my God.
You know what?
She's not, because we know about
Shut up. Right? I don't care.
Look, you know what? I think I'm actually, pissed at this, because...
That Wendy was in the show?
Yeah, I think Wendy didn't need to be in the show, okay? There's too many bullshit, random, reoccurring characters. Really, a generic hoe? Yeah, okay.
No, she's not a generic hoe. She's the woman who will do anything for money. If you are Hank Schrader and you want to teach your nephew, Walt Jr. a lesson, you talk to Wendy. If you're... He's Hank Schrader, right? If you are Jesse and you need a place to hide and fuck, you go to Wendy. If you're Saul Goodman and you need a... pretend to be Howard Hamlin, you go to Wendy. She's down to clown for anything as long as you give her some root beer and some money. I like this character.
Wendy should be the next spinoff of Breaking Bad.
Literally, that would be fine. If every episode is some other character in Albuquerque has a scheme and they need a prostitute to be involved and they pick up Wendy, just give me 8 episodes of that and I'll watch it. Give me a Hank episode, give me a Jesse episode. They should be doing that instead of, have you seen they're doing a cartoon Better Call Saul for little kids?
What?
It's literally real. It's called Slippin' Jimmy, the cartoon. And if you watch the trailer, it is just horribly animated and the script is not funny and I hated it. I hope it's a prank.
That sucks.
What the hell?
Why would they do that?
Insane.
Are we going to review that show when it comes out?
Yes.
Of course.
Absolutely.
So, do you have any other thoughts on the epic heist?
I thought it was really well done. I thought Jimmy looked frighteningly like Howard. Like when I look at both of them, I'm like, oh, they don't look very similar at all. But you just give fucking Jimmy a tan and the same kind of haircut. And when he was walking down the street in the first shot, I was like, wait, why is Howard walking like that? And then I realized that's Bob Odenkirk. Yeah,
look,
wild.
You gotta forgive me for being like completely blind to suits, but I want you to tell me, there was this scene back in like season 1 or 2 where Saul was using a suit that
it's called Ham Lindigo Blue.
Yeah, that's the one. But is this the same suit? Did he use the same suit to impersonate him again?
I don't know if it's the exact same one, but it's clearly similar. It might be the same one he used in his billboard ad.
I mean, it probably would be, considering he would still have it, I guess. Wow.
Yeah, but it's Ham Lindigo Blue, don't forget it. They keep bringing that back, and I enjoy it.
He brought the suit back, wow.
No, just the color is funny, that they named a shade of blue after themselves.
Amazing.
Yeah. Another thing, part of the scheme is that Kim is having like a lunch date with Clifford Maine, and what I found interesting was she just needed to distract him long enough for Clifford Maine to see, the scheme unfold. But in their conversation, it seems that Cliff was actually really into what Kim was talking about. Like, she wants to start her own little firm to, help the little guy. And Cliff was like, yeah, I'm all about that. My son has a drug problem. I'd even support you and give you money and stuff. And it's like, wow, maybe Kim doesn't need to be Breaking Bad right now. Maybe she can actually just succeed normally, and all this illegal shit, maybe she shouldn't be doing that. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think that might be what happens. I think she's just gonna go straight and narrow, and Jimmy, he's just gonna get addicted to this personality that Kim has set up for him.
No, I think it's the opposite. I think Kim should be going down the...
really good at this.
She should be going down the straight and narrow, but she has been tainted somehow. So much influence of Jimmy has rubbed off on her, and now I feel like the relationship between Kim and Jimmy right now, as of this episode, especially after the Mike scene, it kind of feels like a weird version of Walt and Jesse, with Kim being the Walt. Like, she is manipulating, not Jesse, but Jimmy into like doing her schemes and her will, and he's like getting brutalized and beaten up just like Jesse did and stuff. It kind of feels similar to me. She is really becoming the mastermind here.
It's kind of a fascinating inversion where I really thought that Kim would be pretty clean throughout most of it, and she's kind of stepped more in the muck as it goes on, and she seems to be more, yeah, you're right, she seems to be more aware of things than Jimmy does.
Well, and even like, in the next episode,
barricading their fucking door, she's like,
well, yeah, but in the next episode, she has like a full Walter White scene where she is having lunch with an old friend, just like with Cliff here. But the entire social call is a lie. She just wants to get information to help her do illegal shit. And she's like pretending to be friends with people who she used to actually be friends with, which is a very Walter White moment.
Well, I guess this is going against what you guys just said, but I think that they're gonna accidentally kill Howard, and then Kim is just gonna go back to being non-evil. I think she's just gonna try to atone for it, and then she's gonna break up with Jimmy. I know it's not interesting, but it's like the most likely way that I see this story going. What do you guys think?
I think Howard will... my dream is that we end up with Kim, Jimmy, and Howard and Lalo in a scene together. Because it's like worlds colliding of, like, this is Howard. He should not be involved with the cartel shit. But now that Howard has a private investigator following Jimmy, and that Lalo is probably coming back soon, I think this might be a recipe for Howard getting killed.
Yeah?
I don't think Howard's going to get killed.
Howard is definitely going to get killed.
Spicy.
This is the big showdown between the guys and Howard, and I think it's just gonna go comedically wrong where Howard dies in like a really stupid way, like the guy who slipped and broke his skull in Breaking Bad, something like that.
Oh, Beneke?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see Howard being the new Ted Beneke. He gets horribly mutilated. Okay, let's continue through this Kim-directed episode. Kim notices she's getting followed. She confronts them, which, if Kim is... If Kim knows that her and Jimmy are committing crimes against Howard, and that, like, they're being pretty obvious about it, like, it's pretty clear that they want to get caught, as revealed in the following episode, it would make sense for Howard to be the one to hire a private investigator, which he literally does in the next episode. So why does Kim confront these men? Why doesn't she just assume that Howard got these private investigators to follow her?
Well, I guess it wasn't clear enough yet. I mean...
Because she has to know that Howard would suspect them specifically, which is literally what happens. So, like,
yeah, because Jimmy has pulled these kinds of tricks before, and, like, Howard is instantly like, it's absolutely Jimmy. Like, he knows that since Kim was distracting the other guy, that it's got to be a Jimmy fucking prank.
Yeah, and at this point, she doesn't know that Lalo is still alive, because she has not spoken to Mike about that yet, right? So who is she afraid of?
Yeah,
well, I guess what's going to happen, though, is that she's going to ignore the fact that she's being watched now, because...
Well, she speaks to Mike, and Mike says, you don't have to worry about them anymore. They're my guys. Yeah. They're just keeping you safe. Let's talk about this meeting between Kim and Mike. We've been waiting the whole show for it. We got very brief Mike and Chuck scenes, and now we're getting some Mike and Kim action. I'd say one of the better scenes of the episode.
I liked it. I'm not so inured to a lot of this stuff that I'm like, oh, they finally met these two amazing characters.
Then you're not a real Better Call Saul head, because I came in my pants as soon as I saw Mike sitting at the counter.
Yeah. And so, like, do you think she knew of Mike beforehand because he worked at the garage?
She does say, I recognize you.
Right. Yeah, okay.
But she also figures out that Mike is the one who was with Jimmy in the desert, and... Mm-hmm. And interestingly, I think maybe the most interesting line of the episode is, Mike tells Kim, Lalo is probably still alive, that's why we're following you. And Kim wants to know, why are you telling me and not Jimmy? And Mike says, well, I think you're made of sterner stuff, which it turns out is a quote from Shakespeare, Julius Caesar. That's a Julius Caesar line. Would you expect Mike Ehrmantraut to just casually be quoting lines from Shakespeare?
I think that's become a more general quote than a specific Shakespeare thing.
Well, I think from the podcast I listened to, it was an intentional reference just because of, I don't know the full context of Julius Caesar's shit, but I guess, like, in the metaphor, Jimmy is the Caesar and Kim is whoever the fuck. I don't know. It makes sense if you are smarter than me.
Okay. All right.
But it is... an apt simile, I guess, or
yeah, because I definitely don't think of Mike as somebody who's going to be quoting Billy Shakes all the time.
Right, Billy Shakespeare.
And I don't buy that Mike thinks that she's going to be better at handling this than Jimmy. Like, what?
No, I buy it.
Does he have?
Because he hung out with. In the Bagman episode, he saw how weak and shriveling Jimmy really is, and but he was spying because he listened in on the phone when Kim confronted Lalo. That's the answer.
Yeah, I guess that's true, but
yeah, she was way tougher than Jimmy in that episode.
But it was just that one scene that made him think, oh yeah, I can bear my sword to her.
Just one example where this character was extremely brave in a life and death situation. There's only one example, though. We got to try to kill them a few more times before we can figure out how stern they are.
Well, why would he expose himself to her just for that? I mean, I don't know. It seems like it's a pretty contrived reason for them to finally talk.
Yeah, I think based recognizes based, and as the two most based characters, Mike and Kim were destined to meet. Lalo's the third most based.
Yeah, I can't wait for them all to meet. Wow.
Anyway, final point for this episode for me is Jim and Kimmy They promised, hey, if we get married, no more secrets. And until now, Kim has stayed true to that. But finally, we've full Walter White mode, keeping secrets from your spouse, Kim. She's really embracing it. She feels like she has the fortitude to handle this information on her own without Jimmy. And I think that says a lot about what she thinks of how equal they are in their relationship, maybe. I don't know. Why do you think she is keeping the secret that Lalo is alive from Jimmy? Is it to protect him or because she thinks he's too weak?
Maybe it's kind of a weakness thing, but it's kind of like, I think she thinks that if he knew that, he would do something that would either put them on the radar or like draw attention to them in some way, and she's trying to avoid that as much as possible.
She doesn't trust his reaction.
Yeah.
This is another reason why I think it's contrived, because so he recognizes that she's based, but then he also I guess apparently thinks that she wouldn't tell Jimmy, because otherwise he could have just told them both and would have been easier, but he tells only her, so he must have known that she wouldn't tell Jimmy, and I don't know, it's like too high level for me, this kind of this kind of 4D chess that's going on here.
Well, if we want to go even higher level, we should go to the 5th episode, featuring, in my mind, a scene to rival perhaps even the karaoke scene with Chuck and Jimmy singing ABBA, because that was something I never expected to see from the show, and something else I never expected to see was Howard and Jimmy literally boxing.
Yeah.
Which I think is kino. I've seen so many people say this is the worst episode in a long time. So boring, nothing happened. The boxing was kino. Just the fact that they did it is kino.
Episode, I'd say. Yeah.
The boxing was really good, but I guess it's weird that Jimmy would go and do the boxing, but then still proceed with his evil plan. So that's so weird of Jimmy. Why would he do both of those contradictory things?
It's a matter of pride, because he rejected it, but as he's walking away, you can see that switch flick on his face, like, oh no, I want to beat this guy.
He wants to embarrass Howard, in whatever way he can. I'm just wondering, is Howard a fucking idiot? This is the thing.
Wow.
What does Howard want to get out of this? Is he literally just wanting to beat up on Jimmy? There's no part of him that can believe earnestly that giving Jimmy a couple rounds in the ring will somehow dissolve the black storm clouds around their relationship. There's no way that just a fucking boxing match will resolve any of that.
No, it's the match code. It has to be like this. They fought it out. Now Jimmy has to stand down. Okay, it happens.
No, that makes no sense at all.
Guys, we already know the answer. It was fucking 4D chess. He didn't care if they actually boxed or not. I don't think. He just needed to lure Jimmy out so that his private eye could start following him.
That was literally it. There's so many.
Yeah,
more
or why not?
You could do.
If Jimmy would have left the gym without boxing, he still would have had the private eye there. The plan worked.
Yeah, but that's so that's almost hilarious how over the top that is, just to get somebody to tail him. He runs a fucking law I don't know, not clinic. He runs a law office.
Yeah, so but why did Howard?
It would not be hard to find him.
But why did Howard want the private eye to meet them at midnight at this boxing ring then? What's even the point? Why not just have him meet up at his fucking apartment?
Yeah, you'd think there's any number of things he could have done instead of a boxing match to... No, but I think that is showing that Howard at least wants to try to settle some of this in some way, or wants to beat up on Jimmy, or let Jimmy beat up,
Well, that's kind of the thing of this season.
Talking about the character by doing this, essentially.
This whole season, the theme seems to be keeping mysteries from the audience, because the season, the first half of the season is almost over. We have 2 episodes left.
God.
And the whole season has been about this secret plan to take down Howard, and we still don't know what the plan is.
Have they done actual setup for the plan itself? I just know that they're trying to embarrass him in some way.
Yeah, so according to the podcast, they are making it as mysterious as possible, and they're saying like, yeah, you're going to be frustrated because you won't understand what's going on, but you have to trust us that it is building up and it will be worth it. So these next 2 episodes, like, this plan better, be next level if they're gonna detach us from our main characters. Usually we understand the motivations and the actions of our main characters, and this season they've decided to keep us in the dark until it's revealed at the end. So I'm really hoping that they're right and that all this mysterious shit, like maybe Howard wanting to box him, again, is part of Howard's master plan that will be revealed later, and we just don't know yet.
Yeah, I think so too. He must have collected some kind of evidence against Jimmy here. It's gonna be.
He's got to be something. Yeah.
Sure.
Going a bit past the 4D chess angle of this, I think both of the actors in the scene played it really well, because Bob Odenkirk did just get into really good shape for that Nobody movie.
Yeah, and he beats the fuck out of people in that movie. Yeah, so he had to tone it down for this.
Odenkirk is really downplaying his physique. He's really downplaying his level of physical endurance. And I guess the Howard actor is just kind of doing what it is. But they're both very good at being clearly middle-aged men that are not super good at this. I think Howard is clearly has the upper hand here between the two of them. But it's just 2 very good actors really embodying their characters in that way.
Yeah, and Jimmy's really kind of going Looney Tunes with it, swinging his arms around and stuff. He's trying to not take, or he's trying to pretend like he's not taking it seriously and he's just goofing off. But he wants to win, and then he gets his ass kicked.
Right.
Yeah, good scene.
No, it's great. The actors did such a good job.
Yeah, very good job.
So I guess the conclusion might be then that Kimmy didn't tell him so that he will continue the plan, because maybe Saul would actually do the smart thing and lay low if he knows that Lalo is still alive. But now that he doesn't know, I guess he's gonna go ahead with the plan. So I guess everything is gonna happen all at the same time, and everyone's gonna start fighting each other, and he could have just sent that one out and made peace, but yeah, he's walking blindly into this confrontation. Maybe it's actually Jimmy that will break up with Kim for not telling him, actually.
Well,
so many possibilities.
So let's evaluate what we know about this plan. They want to humiliate Howard, both for personal reasons, but also for financial reasons, because the whole point is they want this Sandpiper Crossing lawsuit to end early, so they have to attack Howard because he's the main lawyer behind it. So maybe we'll settle early and we'll all get some money. And my question is, the show gives us a scene at the retirement home where the old people they're flustered. They're upset. Why do we have to keep waiting for this money? We're 90 years old.
Longer than they thought.
Yeah,
they're going to die soon.
We're gonna be dead soon. And the guy even says should I get my own lawyer? And legally, yes, you can. Maybe you probably should. But Howard interrupts that and says, no, don't get your own lawyer. Don't worry, just let me make as much money as possible. I'm Howard. I don't care that you're about to die in 2 days and you need this money to live. I want more money for me. My name's Howard Hamlin. And that scene really got me thinking, maybe Jimmy and Kim aren't so bad after all.
That's what I thought as well.
At the end of the day, Sandpiper, the money should be going to these old people ASAP. You're stretching it out so the lawyers get more money, Howard.
Before this point,
20%, right? That they're
before
getting
this point, I kind of thought that Howard and his whole legal crew was kind of all right, and Jimmy was mostly kind of on the sketch side. But maybe these bigger law offices and stuff will really drag these things out to get as much money as possible and fuck anyone who's part of the settlement, who might die in the meantime. Yeah, you're right that it's very much changed my view of Howard and his legal.
Yeah, and just the fact that he encouraged the victim to not seek his own legal aid just made me think Howard's a scumbag in professionally, which is almost worse than being a scumbag in the way that Jimmy does it.
Mm-hmm.
Then again, you see Howard, and he's out there. He's really doing the best he can for this lawsuit, and maybe it's not best for the victims, but it's better for the other future possible victims, that these guys are gonna get slapped with the heaviest penalty they can. Okay, maybe it's not so bad. He's He's just doing it, okay, for what's right.
No, here's the problem with Howard. Howard is a nepotism baby whose father and his father's friend started this fucking law firm, and Howard inherited it, but he has delusions of grandeur. He thinks he's a self-made man, he's the big shot lawyer, he's the king of the crop. Turns out he was handed this shit because his fucking father gave it to him. It's Hamlin McGill. He's the second Hamlin. He doesn't deserve any of this shit. Anyway.
Well, that's it. Is there any
fuck Howard
proof that he doesn't deserve it, or is
he's a nepotism baby, dude. His father started the law firm and he inherited it. He didn't start shit.
It doesn't mean he can't be the best person to lead it.
No, it means that he thinks he's a lot bigger than he really is. He didn't start the company, but he did not contribute to its success. And fuck him. He killed Chuck. He killed Chuck when he fired him. I hate Howard. Chuck was my favorite character.
Good. Chuck needed to die. God damn it.
Wow.
I don't know, man.
I just wanted to shit on Howard. I don't care.
Florian demonizing the mentally ill.
Anyway, fuck this shit. Can we we have to conclude with perhaps the greatest scene in the Breaking Bad universe, which is Lalo tries to fuck Warner's wife.
Amazing. Cucking a dead man.
Now, we have to go to Florian. Florian, these scenes that were filmed in New Mexico are pretending to be in Germany. You probably know a little bit more about German architecture and just, the general vibe, the accents. Did the German stuff in this show check out for you?
Well, the accents were certainly better than usual, so I don't know. I think it worked well enough, yeah.
Okay. Because a lot of people who have never been to Germany wanted to point out that the outdoor, shot that goes through a long time lapse, they filmed that in New Mexico and they CGI'd a bunch of German buildings into it, and a lot of people felt that it looked like complete shit. And even on the podcast, Vince Gilligan was joking about how bad it looked.
Yeah, I wish I could remember it now. God damn.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what is Lalo trying to get from her? There's something in one of the things that's being manufactured at the beginning of the episode.
Right.
Well, we know what he wants. He wants evidence. And
so this was the shittiest, least interesting cold open perhaps of all time, which was 3 full minutes of some craftsman making this they take Warner's measuring thing, I don't know, some part of his character, some little tool he always had, and they encase it in what is it?
Plastic.
Lucite block?
It's plastic.
Well, I don't think it's plastic. The internet says it's lucite block, which I guess maybe that is part plastic. It's like poly something. Whatever. It's like a trophy or a memoriam thing for the boys made it for Warner's wife. And they decided to waste 3 minutes of the episode of us watching this thing get made, which I did not appreciate. I've noticed that in this season, only one of the cold opens featured any of our main characters. Can we just get relevant cold opens, please?
It seems like they've definitely gotten worse at that, where it gets more and more abstract the deeper into the show we get as to what the fuck is going on at the beginning of these episodes.
Yeah, dare I say, bordering on pretentious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. So,
can we talk about the Gus thing?
So was it that he stole then, this measuring stick?
Yeah, he stole that because on the bottom of it there was a label saying where it was made, so I assume he's gonna go to them to find out who hired them to make it, which will lead Lalo to the boys, which I don't know what he's planning on doing with them. But if you recall, there was that one boy who had a little bit of conflict with Mike. He was a little bit of a hothead. Somebody get that hothead out of here. Maybe Lalo will talk to him and maybe he will. I mean, he has no reason to not say as much as he can about what was going on and, Mike. And especially since Lalo knows who Mike is, all he has to do is show him a photo. He's like, oh yeah, I recognize him.
Yeah, it will all be revealed. I guess it's too bad that we'll spend an entire extra bit of an episode on him talking to
Warner's boys. Yeah.
Yeah.
E-Rich, what did you want to say? What did you want to say about Gus, E-Rich?
So the Gus scene in this episode is where he's like freaked out in the restaurant. Like the one kid next to him drops a bunch of trays, and he's like really put off. And he walks outside of the Los Pollos Hermanos, and he's like just freaked out. That's the entire point of that.
Yeah, we get a 5-minute scene with almost no dialogue. Just to establish
the amount of information they're telling us.
They had to establish that Gus is feeling anxious. We didn't know that yet.
No, I don't care.
Oh, wait, we did know that? Because we have 5 other scenes of Gus cleaning his bathroom tile with a fucking toothbrush.
Yeah, or him going to his other fucking house. Yes, we know this already.
10-minute scene of Gus taking off his clothes, checking the gun on his ankle, putting on different clothes, walking into his basement, putting in buttons, moving a bookcase, walking through a tunnel.
Like, you could
cut it all in there?
Yes! Yes, it's all in there!
Mark my words, by the time both of these seasons are, like, the half seasons are done, you will have enough Gus footage to just make a whole episode of just Gus, like, checking himself, looking around, like looking at things. Like, you'll have an entire episode.
Not even an episode. I was thinking, if you take the first 3 episodes of this season and you only include the nacho scenes, that's basically its own version of El Camino. Like, that, I would be satisfied with that as a film. That is as good as El Camino. You could just take all of the scenes of Gus doing nothing, and that's its own El Camino fucking movie. You could do a 2-hour movie of these scenes of Gus doing literally fucking nothing, and I would watch it. I'll watch it. Fuck it.
Gus prequel movie.
No, not even prequel. It's Gus deals with the anxiety of Lalo the movie. We're going to watch him just walk around his house and work at his job. Tell people... Oh, wait, no. That reminds me. Thank God that reminds me. I said earlier, I believe there might have been an unintentional allusion to a certain Jesse scene. Now, so, take back what I said. This Gus scene is actually kino, because it does make sense. It does make sense. Do you guys know what's going on in this scene? Why it's so baffling?
No.
We have Gus. He's anxious in his work office. He puts his pen down very pristinely. Realizes he does not have his gun. Right? Is that he doesn't have his gun? He's walking through the kitchen. I like that with these long takes, it's usually boring because it's just Gus walking through his house. But when we're doing a long panning shot through a fast food kitchen, that's kind of cool because we had to train all these actors to actually fucking.
Have you seen that before though?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's pristine quality kino. I just thought it was kind of cool. But the point of the scene is, when Gus is talking to the customer, and he says, would you like to try our new spice curls? Do you remember? That's what Gus says. And that's when he starts zoning out. And he can't hear anything. And I'm thinking, what, is Lalo standing in the fucking doorway of the restaurant? Why is Gus freaking out? What could this be? And then it's nothing. And Gus just walks outside. And I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? And then there's another scene where they're in the under the laundromat. They're in the big drug tunnel or whatever, the big drug hole. What do we call this area? The drug hole?
Laboratory?
The laboratory, that's right. Well, it's not really a lab yet. We have another baffling scene where Gus doesn't even say a word. He's measuring his paces and hiding a gun under the equipment. I'm like, what in the fuck is Gus doing? But it's all in the spice curls, my friends. May one remember from last season, there is a scene where Gus is meeting with the Madrigal people. Madrigal is the German company, the parent company of Los Pollos Hermanos. They help him with the drug operation. And Gus says he wants to introduce a new menu item called Spice Curls. And somehow, someway, just like with Jesse, that fucking scene when Jesse realizes that Huel stole his marijuana cigarette and therefore must have have also stolen his rice and cigarette to poison Brock. That same level of, wow, I can't believe this character connected all of those pieces in 1 second. The same thing happened here. When Gus says spice curls, that connects his brain to when he's speaking to the Germans, and that's how he figures out Lalo's in Germany, and I'm not fucking kidding. That's what happened.
Is that really what we're supposed to take from that?
That is what happened, yes.
What?
Yes.
Monkey, you just fucking went on a 3-minute long, like, I couldn't follow half of it.
Yeah. Well, that's most of the time I speak.
The regular audience is supposed to have picked up on that?
Well, I probably didn't explain it very well, but yeah. I mean, unless you remember the very brief scene in season 5 when Gus is speaking to German people about spice curls, you probably won't make that connection.
Of course not. Of course I don't remember
Nobody
that.
would remember that. I only know that because I listened to the podcast.
Wait, is that just him talking about Spice Girls?
It triggered him to think about Germans, which made him realize that Lalo would be in Germany to investigate Warner. Yes.
But the curls aren't inherently linked with German things.
So well, it is in his mind because he was speaking to Germans about them. Because right when he says spice curls, that's when it triggers in his brain and he starts going crazy. That's the trigger.
Yeah, wow, that's amazing. You just pay so much attention, and I didn't get it. No,
that was told to me. I did not figure that out on my own.
Well, I gotta admit, like, whenever I see like a 5-minute scene coming on, sorry, I probably shouldn't do this, but I like playing games while watching.
No, Florian, stop!
You literally play video games while watching the show.
Yeah, I'm sorry, when there's like a 5-minute scene coming on, I can't help myself.
How can you tell it's going to be a 5-minute scene coming on? You don't know the length of the scene until it's over. What are you talking about?
I can stop pretty quick, but if there's like nothing happening in the scene, then I guess I'm gone.
Oh, yeah. Well.
Sorry.
So, Lalo breaks into Margaret's, what's her fucking name? Some German shit. You speak German, don't you, Florian? What's her name?
Margrethe? Is that it?
Yeah. Well, let me ask you about this. They also talked about this on the podcast. So the woman's dog, she has a little tiny dog, and the dog's name is Little Bear, and they wanted to name it just normal Bear in German, to name it after like one of the producers' actual dog, but evidently German people don't consider the name Bear to be a cute name you would give a small dog, so they had to change it to Little Bear. Does that make any sense to you?
I mean, I guess if I hear bear, I wouldn't think of something that small, so yeah, maybe.
Like, in Germany, nobody would ever name their small dog Bear. Like, that would be weird.
Well, aren't bears huge?
Yeah, but it's like a cute name for your dog.
But it's a huge bear. You don't call him elephant.
God, you German people are so weird. How do you not?
When you call him
you
elephant?
Can't even comprehend this. Yes, it's an ironic name. It's not supposed to be. Whatever.
Well, if it's ironic, then that's the point. But it's not supposed to be.
Does she call it Bärchen in the?
It's Bärchen.
Bärchen. So, like, yeah, that's the, like, tiny, small, cute version of bear.
Yeah.
Which I think makes sense as a dog name.
Yeah, but they wanted to just call it normal bear, and they were told that wouldn't make sense in German.
But you wouldn't call a dog, like, elephant, would you?
I mean, my cousin literally has a tiny dog named Bear, which is why this hits so close to home for me. Like, wow, these German people are fucking weird.
But you wouldn't have an elephant, would you?
Well, what? You can name an animal anything, dude. I could name my cat Elephant.
Name.
What'd you say, you Rich?
My elephant's name is Stampy.
Yeah. How do you like that?
That's a fitting name.
Anyway, do we have any other points from these 3 episodes? I think we've really tackled all the big shit, right?
Monkey, which of these episodes did you think was the worst?
The worst? Ooh.
Which does not necessarily make it bad, just
yeah, it's tough because the Nacho episode is the best one. So that brings me these two episodes that are basically the same. It's just them
they're basically good.
Yeah, they're just like fucking with Howard.
I don't really have a problem with them for the most part. I just think that when I said before that I thought the rest of the season would be all killer, no filler, I really thought that, like, because they were killing Nacho off so quickly, that the rest of the season they had tons of stuff to pack into it. Mm-hmm. And I think they do have good stuff here. they're just really like slow rolling it still and like really like letting it take its time to take off. So
yeah,
it's
and
just not as fast as I thought it would be.
The problem is there are only 8 episodes left of this entire
of
franchise. There are so many things I want to get the answer to, so much like future character development. Yeah, but we've already watched 6, and I feel like, you know, if the next 6 have the same pacing as the previous 6, those last 2 are going to be like 5 hours long each to...
We've watched 6 episodes, and I feel like we've gotten about 4 episodes worth of content.
So I'm really hoping that the second half of the season, like those final 6, they better be fucking killer. Like, just non-stop fucking crazy. But
I'm actually glad to hear that there's still 8. I thought there'd be like 4 more or something. That's
especially because they're still going to do a Walt and Jesse thing. Like,
yeah, and is that going to happen in the first half or the second half?
Probably because the second half.
Well, but they teased it before the premiere of episode 1 of the first half, so they better at least be in the finale of part 1, right?
So, do you think that it's possible that Walt had already met Saul when he talks about when he says to Jesse that Saul is just an awful lawyer because he saw him on TV, or was it because he actually met him? What do you think?
I don't think he met him. I think the commercials are embarrassing and cheesy, so he just doesn't consider him to be a real lawyer.
Wow. But they're so good.
Well, yeah, I mean, but in real life, if you needed a lawyer, like for a video game lawsuit, Florian, would you hire Slippin' Jimmy or would you hire Howard?
Well, damn, I guess. I mean,
that's a tough one.
I mean, if I think like, oh yeah, Breaking Bad, I'll probably go with the bad lawyer, but yeah, obviously probably wouldn't.
Well, I don't want to go over an hour on this, so let's wrap it up. Again, do you guys have any final thoughts?
I did like these episodes. I thought that, like, basically, we all know what Better Call Saul is like. A lot of people love it. A lot of people think it's amazing. I also think it's great. It just really takes its time with some things, and
it's always better on rewatch.
Yeah, that's true. And I think, like, once the entire show's done, I'm going to go back and rewatch the entire thing, and hopefully get a bit more appreciation for how it meets out its plot.
Well, but if you think back to Breaking Bad, Breaking Bad introduced like plot points, like with the whole gray matter shit, like in episode 3 or 4, and then it
didn't come out until the last.
They bring it back in the last 2 episodes. So I'm wondering, like, are they going to do something like that again? What from very early on in Better Call Saul that we all forgot about? What is going to be brought back in a major way that's going to make us shit our pants?
Damn.
So I guess I'm definitely gonna rewatch it then, knowing that there's actually 8 more episodes. Wow.
You're gonna rewatch the whole show because there's 2 more episodes than you thought there would be?
I mean, I probably would have rewatched it eventually, but that gives me 2 more weeks, so that's more than enough, actually.
I don't know if you know this, Florian, but there's only 2 more episodes, and then there's a 6-week break before the last 6.
So much time.
Yeah, so you can, I guess, rewatch then.
I should just rewatch it really slowly and really take it in. Just like maybe 2 episodes a day. Yeah,
and only play the video game for 10 minutes per episode instead of the whole time.
I've seen it like 5 times, so. Well, Breaking Bad, that is.
Okay, do you guys have anything you want to plug? Florian?
Everyone subscribe to my channel, Himsel Games. Got a rant about Elden Ring coming on. Gotta eventually make a video about Elon Musk where I rant too. It's gonna have lots of me ranting, but you didn't get enough in this one, so go there and subscribe.
Erich.
You can find me on Twitter at TZARREVAN. You can bug me about thinking that Better Call Saul is too slow on there.
And my question is, are we going to return for episode 6, or should we just wait for the final 2?
Well, why won't we just find out if it's worth going back to it?
Yeah, I mean, for all we know, episode 6 is going to be so exciting that we'll want to talk about it immediately. But just in case, just in case you don't hear from us next week, we will cover the final 2 episodes eventually.
It would have to be more impactful than the Nacho death, right? Because we didn't record immediately after for the Nacho death.
That's true, but that is also because we had some scheduling issues, and I really wanted to have Heartsy here, but we just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So.
Heartsy will return. I'm sure.
You know what? I think we should definitely do the next episode, and if there's nothing happening, it'll just be 10 minutes of podcast. It'll be great.
We will wait and see.
5 minutes of just me sitting there in silence, being afraid, and you'll be able to tell just because, I don't know, I'm such a good actor.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.